Before, but I'm like...
Oh, I thought it meant, like, his pronouns.
No,
because it's like, wait, what are his pronouns?
We. I don't like that pronoun. But I'm like, I don't know what y'all do together.
They have a pet cemetery together. I hope that cat comes back from the grave. Like the movie.
But it's going to be like where the tree is that he wants to include in this garden. I'm like, oh, how do you get your garden to grow so well? Who's all the pets we bury?
Are you sure it's just pets?
I'm going to start finding dead creatures and sending it to him so we can bury them there. Gotta to your garden.
Oh, God bless. Okay, we are in season 2. This is episode 3. And this is called Silver Alert. So this goes along with, remember when we were talking about all those alerts? The clear alert, the amber alert. So this is a silver alert.
For the old people?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So the silver alert is, it is part of the public notification system, much like...
Senior citizens. Sorry. I said old people.
Oh, it's not the correct terminology. Amber Alert is for children considered under the age of 18 who have been kidnapped, missing. Silver Alert is similar to that, but it is for senior citizens over 65 years old. Especially with those with like Alzheimer's, dementia, or other mental disabilities. And then the Clear Alert is for missing, kidnapped adults who are in immediate danger, injury, or death. So, these are all alerts that are specific for Texas, and you can go to the Department of Public Safety website to look at all the alerts. You can also check the latest alerts and information here. If you are subscribed upon like your phone subscription, then you have the ability to get those alerts on your phone. And it really could save someone's life. So, in our story today is going to take place in late 2016. With our victim being 69-year-old Maria Llamas. Maria and her husband, Refugio, had attended church services that lovely Sunday morning and decided to enjoy an afternoon out at the Poteet flea market off the 1200 block of State Highway 16. I have never been to Poteet. I would like to go to the Poteet Strawberry Festival maybe one time in my life, but I have never...
I've never been. I've had strawberries from there, but I've never been.
Oh, have you? Are they good?
I paused because since they were given to me, they don't travel well. Because they're very... When I got them, they were smushed. But I think they were but they were sweet. So
right.
It's like they're very delicate, but very good. So if they were whole,
right, they would probably have been better.
But they were still good, smushed. But it makes you wonder.
I know. I hear it's good. So this is a place that her and her husband were very familiar with. In fact, her whole family was very familiar with the flea market, as they often ventured out there. And if you don't know what a flea market is, it's like an outside shopping place where people set up their own stuff. Sell it, market it out. You walk around, you look at different vendors. Maria's family explains that Maria knew the ins and out of that flea market. However, that day would not be like a visit like any other. One of the most important parts of the story is Maria had dementia. She had Alzheimer's disease, which causes progressive memory loss and cognitive decline. Family had told many news outlets that Maria's overall dementia had increased in all areas of her life, including Maria thinking she was back in Mexico where she was born. This is a big part of dementia in general, forgetting time frames and mixing the past and the present. And I can definitely aside to that because my own dad has Parkinson's, but he's got some dementia going on, and it's like they forget where they're at. They forget what time of day it is. They forget. And have you ever seen the videos of people working with individuals with Alzheimer's, and they have to tell them, oh no, they want to go to work, and they're like, no, you haven't worked in 20 years.
Or somebody's already passed. And they're
and they're waiting for them to come home.
Hey, they're calling them our name. Be like, no, I'm not them. Yeah. So that day, Maria and her husband were walking around the flea market, stopping at vendors and listening to the music. Maria was known for her love of music and dancing. That day, Maria is ready to cut her visit short, and she told her husband she was ready to leave. Maria's husband agreed
And surveillance video from the flea market show Maria and her husband walking towards the exit. However, they were still stopping and looking at the vendors along the way. Within the next few minutes, as Porfirio looked at a vendor selling boots, Maria kept walking. Video shows Maria walking out a different exit than what she should have exit with her husband. Then the video captures her walking through the parking lot headed toward the exit to the highway. Within that time, Porfirio is seen looking around the flea market for his wife. It's he realized she wasn't standing next to him, and it's just it's like when you have a kid and you're like, wait a minute, he was right there with me. 69. So
she's moving pretty fast.
Within that time, Porfirio is looking around the flea market. He goes out to the parking lot, goes to the car, maybe thinking she was headed that way. Maria wasn't there. He calls 911, and then he calls his grown children, who all come out, and a massive scene erupts at the Poteet flea market. Immediately, a clear alert was issued by the Texas DPS. Maria is described as a petite 5 foot 2 inches, weighing only 120 pounds. I know, and only 69 years old. Only, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Within the next few days, her face and information was all over the news. Search crews from multiple agencies and volunteer groups were initiated all over Poteet and South San Antonio area. The terrain out there is more open land, trees, and fields. So we're talking about farmers, and there's ranches. Her family was out there day and night trying to find any information, updates. Crime Stoppers offered up rewards, and there were reported sightings from here in San Antonio all the way down in Mexico. SAPD had no real leads, and foul play was not suspected at the time. Search crews scouring the banks of Leon Creek found Maria's purse. This was after rain had fallen, so it was never definite if the purse was there or was possibly pushed downstream as a result of the rain. Further searching of the relative area did not bring any further clues or items of Maria's. Maria's family never gave up hope and created a website, a Facebook page dedicated to spreading Maria's information.
How do you spell the last name?
Llamas. Why are you looking at me like that? Llamas. Why are you looking at me like that? Who is this? Who is this?
Are you gonna edit or pause or what? I can't say the. No, I can't do this.
Who is this? Who is it? Okay, well, keep that in mind.
I mean, they don't know it's me doing this.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Because I was wait, Maria. Because they had it posted up and everything for the longest time looking for her.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm talking about years.
That's what it was like. Yeah, that's what it was like. Wait, what was the last name again? I was like, well, you kept saying Maria, and I was like, oh shoot. I know the granddaughter. Okay, okay.
So the family tells reporters. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The family tells reporters that they are blessed and amazed by how the community rallied around their family and nonstop searching for Maria. Unfortunately, years would pass and not one clue or bit of viable information would come in. That wasn't until September 2021 when a discovery was made in Poteet. So back in 2021, in Poteet, actually the exact area that Maria went missing from to begin with, right next to the Poteet flea market and the land around it. Part of Texas is actually a perfect location for hunting, and hunters were the ones that actually stumbled upon what they thought were animal remains, and they weren't able to recognize the bone structures of what they thought the animal was, and then they ended up contacting police. So SAPD detectives were notified, and the skull that was found was taken to multiple crime labs to try and determine any DNA identification. Maria's family was initially notified of this discovery in 2021, and their family shared how they were familiar with that area as part of it being the initial search site. After years of waiting, in this past year in 2023, the family finally got the call they dreaded to hear, but would bring closure to this nightmare of the unknown. DNA confirmed that the skull found was indeed of Maria. The family expressed on their Facebook page their gratitude for all those involved in searching and praying for Maria. The family marks Maria's year of death in 2021, as that was the year she was finally found. The family has been able to bury and lay Maria to rest at Mission Park Cemetery, where her children, sisters, grandchildren can visit her. Although the family has been able to stop searching for Maria, this does not mean their questions haven't stopped. The family shares how they don't understand how her skull could have been found in the spot when they had searched that area a multitude of times. Also, no other garments, parts of the body, or other items have been discovered. And it does seem odd to me that there are no other items that have been identified with her. Granted, she could have died further up north. That creek bed, could have pulled her purse down the stream. Her skull could have been picked up by an animal and brought back to this location. So, it's hard to say exactly where she died, but she had to have died somewhere in that same vicinity that we know for sure. How or where and what condition, that's something we'll probably never know. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm completely quiet on this.
I know, it's okay.
I don't know.
I didn't know that you knew. No, I didn't know.
I did not know you were doing this story.
I know. So it's a little strange, and I know there's the family still has lots of questions, which I would too, because the thing is that terrain is so hard to
sweep.
Right. And even if she didn't die in that area, she died further up. We know animals. We know how the heat gets to decomposition.
Not only that, it's Poteet. So, and I try to tell my mom, when we go to the grocery store and everything, if you forget where you parked, you don't walk out looking like you forgot where you parked. Because people are watching.
Right.
People track your garbage. So they know what's going on, when it's happening, because they particularly stalk certain people. So if they were watching while they were in the place, and then saw the two of them together, and then saw him stop and her continue to walk towards an exit, they could have been watching her from that moment when she walked from outside. And, they're elderly people, therefore you assume that they have money. It's Poteet, the stuff, not that it's Poteet, but it's the flea market. So you don't walk in the flea market just to be walking. Right. And you don't go there with just $20.
And you normally have cash. Right.
Right. Even if it's just for the food items or whatever. So, and then you found the purse. The purse was discarded because they had taken everything that they wanted out of there and just threw everything else away without ID. They had to have checked to see.
So, and the thing was, when I first heard of the story and when I figured out they couldn't find her, I really thought she was kidnapped. I thought someone abducted her because she was an easy target. I'm sorry. I understand she's 60. She's an older woman and grandma, but that doesn't ever not make you a target.
And 69 is not that old. It's also, right. She was moving. It's the dementia that got her. I did not know the background. I didn't know. I knew, like I said, I knew the granddaughter. Hey, you know who I am now. Or how it is. And our audience, there's people that are going to know when they can recognize this name. So it's it took me a second to connect the two of them. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I'm glad they found something, and there's closure, and they were able to bury her finally, and they do have a death certificate now, and it's been, finalized, and that's fine. I know but what happened? What were her last moments like? What, did she suffer? Was she, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to know that. That was back in 2016 when she went missing, and they only found part of, her skull in 2021. So it's almost already 10 years since, her death happened. So I can imagine we're probably not going to find any more things related to that. But I do feel for the family. And if you or someone you know is struggling with cognitive health or needs support for dementia, Alzheimer's disease, I will link the information from the Texas Department of Health Services site.
Instead of being helpful and you see someone that's out because she's just walking. aimlessly.
And I did see reports about there were people that reported possibly seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a for sure like that was her, but they did report seeing a woman walking down the street.
All it takes is somebody to pull over and be like, "Hey, are you lost? Do you need a ride?" She's not thinking. She's like, "Oh yeah, thank you." And maybe they looked like someone she knew.
Right.
And she said a name. They were like, "Yeah, it's me," and they just took her.
And then brought her back.
I don't think they brought her back.
Dispose of her body. But how did her skull end up there?
Well, I mean, they did the unthinkable. They robbed her. They took her stuff. They got rid of the purse and kept her ID and the money and everything else that they had, and they no longer needed her. I don't know. And like it was just, I mean, the family themselves. It was disheartening seeing her now. That's all I think of. Because they day and night were searching and searching and searching. I don't know if they were searching for her to come for a return, or if they had came to peace and they just wanted to know so that way they could
I think at that point you just want to know.
It was 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. She could have come back. Like you don't.
I know you never know. Yeah, and I get it. You should never give up hope. I truly believe in that because there's been crazier stories where people end up being released back or end up coming back, but it's sad. And to know like she's so frail and like fragile and
I mean 5'2", 220 pounds, like she was
and had dementia and and
there's no
there's no way there was a fight. There's no way.
There's no need for that.
And
like,
if she forgot,
she should go pick somebody that's 6'4", 340 so that we can have a fight, whatever. Like I'm very thankful that the family's life didn't stop. They honored her. They searched for her. They did everything they were supposed to do.